I hope the Houston Rockets heed this cautionary tale. We all know that James Harden has been going off, been playing to the max. He's had like a bunch of 40-point games. He said he is the first player in 10 games since Kobe Bryant did it in 2007. He has 388 points in 10 games. Kobe Bryant had 396 points in 10 games in a 10-game span. In 07, James Harden is doing it this season. It's all fine and dandy. Everything seems good. The Rockets are back in the playoff picture. I think they're sitting at 4th or 5th, 19 and 15, and things are looking up for them. But the Houston Rockets have seen this before, and they must not repeat history and really heed this cautionary tale. They have to get James Harden a lot more help. I know CP3 is out. I understand the injury and everything of that nature, but they have to get James Harden some help, because what we're seeing here is a precursor to another burnout in the playoffs. Last year it wasn't such a big burnout. You know, he played to the best of his ability, but it kind of was, because if you remember what happened in Houston, Game 7 against the Warriors, they've missed 26 or 27 straight threes, and that was part of the burnout. The year before that, you guys remember, Houston Rockets got eliminated by the Spurs, and James Harden was basically a shell of himself. Some people say he choked. Some people say he was just out of it. It was a mixture of both. And these are the reasons why. Because there's always a pattern. If you do not study history, you're doomed to repeat it. Since 2016, James Harden has increased his output. 29 points 2016-2017 season, 30.4 in 2017-2018. 2018-2019, 32.7. So that's fine and dandy. But check this out. Field goal attempts have gone up. 18.9 in 2016, 20.1 in 2017, and 21.8 in 2018-2019 season. So what's that telling you? He's jacking up more shots every season. More shots being jacked up means that you're putting the offensive responsibilities on your back, and you're going to be taking a lot of shots, making a lot of shots, but missing a whole lot of shots. And that puts a lot of pressure for you to perform every single night. And guys, in the NBA, contrary to what you believe, superstars can have bad nights. And some of those bad nights come in pivotal games, like in the playoffs. You know, another thing that we got to really look at with Harden, his three-point shooting and field goal attempts has increased as well. 9.3 in 2016, 10 threes a game in 2017, 11.7 threes per game in this season. Guys, we're looking at a guy that last year in Game 7 contributed to 26 missed threes in one game. You think it's good for him to continue to keep jacking up all these shots? Then here's another thing that, you know, we lauded James Harden for being the MVP. His assists are down. He had 11.2 in 2016, 8.8 2017, and this season 8.3, which is not necessarily a huge dropout, but you can see where his facilitating has gone down a little bit to substitute for his scoring output. And that's what happens when you're the main scorer for your team and you keep scoring at such a high clip. Something's got to give, whether it could be your defense, your rebounding, or your assist. And in this case, that's what's given, his assist. And then here's another thing that people are really clairvoyant on right now, but it always rears its head in the playoffs. 5.7 turnovers, 2016, averaging per game. Last year, he averaged 4.4 turnovers. This year, he's right back up at 5.4 turnovers per game. So he's high usage. He's shooting the ball a whole heck of a lot. He's attempting a bunch of threes, which it's good if you're wide open, but James Harden creates everything for the team, so they're contested threes. And then you're looking at turnovers, which can lead to other teams scoring and getting points. You're putting yourself at a disadvantage when it comes to the playoffs, and you're basically burning the clutch for the NBA playoffs, you know, come next year. So the Houston Rockets really need to scale James Harden back a little bit and try to pace him, or try to help him just get back to the facilitated mode. He'll take over the scoring when it gets closer to the playoffs, because right now he needs some help. I know CP3's hurt, but he needs some help elsewhere. He can't continue to do this and you think he's gonna be good, ready for the playoffs. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. Something's gonna break psychologically. Something's gonna break physically down, and it's inevitable. It's inevitable. We've seen it every single playoffs with James Harden, where some of his performances just you're like scratching your head, but then you got to really remember he's been playing at 100%, go 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 go. He's been in the fifth gear, sixth gear the whole season. He hasn't been able to relax. And then when you look at the team overall, their pace is so slow. They're ranked 28th in pace out of 30th, second to last. So you're not really getting a ton of fast break points because, you know, he's bringing up the ball, he's slowing everything down. Then you're looking at their defensive rating. They're almost dead last, 26 out of 30 teams in the NBA. So if let's just say you have a game where James Harden isn't giving you James Harden move, James Harden-esque scoring, he's not going all out, he's not doing everything like that, at least you could rely on your defense last season. This season, they can't even rely on their defense. So if James Harden, the offense primarily, if he's not going, you're losing that game. So in a series, teams are going to try to bottle you up and hope, you know, Chris Paul's going to come back, and that's going to give a new dynamic to the team. But what you're doing is you're burning out James Harden, so when Chris Paul comes back, Chris Paul's going to be playing a high clip, but James Harden's not. So you'll never get them two in sync, and that's what we saw in the Western Conference Finals. We never saw two great games from both of them. James Harden's efficient game in a couple games, CP3 had a bad game. When James Harden had bad games, CP3 had a great game. You never saw them really back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, like a true tandem going after it. So I hope the Houston Rockets really heed this cautionary tale. They have history to back what I'm saying. Every time James Harden has been shooting as this much, increasing his scoring output, and really not getting into his assist mode, they've been struggling in the playoffs. And that's because you burn them out during the regular season. And then if you don't believe it with James Harden, look at Kobe. Kobe had that same span. He had 10 games where he scored even more than James Harden, 396 points, which I still don't understand why Charles Barkley feels like James Harden is like the most elite scorer we've ever seen when you think about like Kobe, Jordan, and whatever. But that's another thing. Kobe had 396 points in a 10-game span. Come to the playoffs, face the Phoenix Suns. I believe in 07, I think that's the season where the Lakers did the 3-1. They blew the 3-1 lead. So it's like, why burn out a player during the regular season when you really need him in the postseason to really get you over the hump? I understand he's been playing like this to get him into the playoff picture and because CP3 is out, but you have to run some things for other guys. You have to get James Harden off the ball a whole heck of a lot more. And you just got to get more. You got to increase the pace. And the defensive-wise, they have to pick it up because they're just building habits. They're building habits now. Come down the line in playoff time. Those bad habits that they built when James Harden dribbling the ball, trying to score for the team, create for the team. When they're doubling him, they're not gonna know what to do. And that's just the bottom line. When he's bottled up or when he's having a poor shooting game, they're not gonna know what to do. They're gonna struggle mightily. And that's just, it is what it is. I hope the Rockets heed this cautionary tale before James Harden burns out again. Because we saw it with the Spurs where he burned out. We saw in Game 7 where essentially he burned out. Things like that are going to happen, guys. But the thing is you have history on your side to tell you, hey, this is not such a great idea what we're doing. I know we need them to play like this, but we got to scale them back a little bit. Hoops Junction, where hoops meets hoopla. Like, comment, subscribe.